Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Today, we're bringing on MarisolLords. So I met Marisol at TwitchCon. They performed on stage at the Drag Showcase, and I was in awe, as all of us were. Fantastic performer. And it wasn't until afterwards that I ran into Marisol through a mutual friend of ours, and we pretty much hit it off. We became really good friends, and I just appreciate them for coming on and doing this with me. And without further ado, let's let's see if she's ready. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I love her so much.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh no, you server muted me so quick. I said, oh, okay.
I wanted to wait till the music was over. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I got to see your fantasticness on Drag Trashly's stream. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Love her so much. Love her and dear. So, how's life been?
It's been pretty good. How have you been?
All right. Just starting some new projects.
Ooh.
Oh,
Anything you want to share with the class?
yeah. There's this little thing I'm doing. It's called Split and Friends. It's this VODcast. You should check it out sometime.
Oh my god, yeah.
On
I'd love to be a part
Fridays.
of it.
You should. I'll send you an invite. Oh my goodness. Ugh, I miss you. I feel like seeing you at TwitchCon. It was really cool because whenever you meet people on stream and through stream, it's obviously amazing. You get to meet a lot of amazing people, but whenever it's something that happens like naturally and in person, it kind of takes it to a different level. I feel like I have a connection with you that I don't unfortunately get to have with too many other people that I've met through Twitch. So definitely something special there. I just appreciate your friendship. So thank you for that. And thanks for coming on here.
Thank you for having me.
Always. You look fantastic. How long did it take you to do the makeup?
I started at 7:20 and we went live by 7:55.
Yeah, I know you are like pretty famous for being able to do makeup very quickly.
Yes, yeah, no, this was a quick one too.
Yeah.
The hardest part was honestly putting everything on because I originally had a different dress, but it didn't zip up all the way, so that was
I feel that.
unfortunate. So I went ahead and put this on, and then I just grabbed the wig. And I actually did not have enough hairspray to hold it down, and so I'm covering it with this side, but this side is like lifted up.
Oh, I feel that. I so the funny part was I was watching you and I'm over here like trying to get my hair fixed and I'm like complaining. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I have to do all this. I have to put to fix my hair. I have to put on some bracelets." I'm like, "Oh my god, it's so difficult." And then I look down and I see you Trashly and Deer and I'm like, "Oh, shut up, Split."
I said I got home at 7:20. I immediately started shaving and getting into it.
Well, you look incredible. So, TwitchCon, what would you say? We'll start with TwitchCon just because that's where we met, and then we'll go back to the beginning because I'm curious on what got you into drag and what got you into streaming. But what was your overall experience with TwitchCon?
It was wonderful. It was amazing being a part of not only the drag showcase, but also a panel, the drag cyber panel hosted by Deer, and also Deer and Bitch Pudding hosted the drag showcase. I will say most of my time in San Diego altogether was not necessarily spent at TwitchCon,
Hmm.
other than the times that I was assigned to be there. So as far as TwitchCon itself, I only have experiences with the showcase and the panel. That is it. I did not really walk the con. I did not network, socialize, or anything like that. I went to say hi to the advanced GG table because I am partnered with them, and that was pretty much it. I walked in, walked out.
That's awesome. I'm part of me's jealous because I put on way too many miles, but also I feel like I needed to add on some of the miles because I have gained a lot of weight since TwitchCon.
Oh, same.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough out there. I need to go to the gym like so bad. I keep telling people, but I had a little different because I spent a lot of the time at the con. I was trying to meet as many people as I could, but some of my like new best friends I met, you for example, outside of actually the con, which is funny. So thanks London Bradshaw for bringing me to a lot of the parties and things like that, because if it wasn't for that I wouldn't have met you, and obviously we wouldn't be doing this, or we've streamed, played together on stream, things like that. So, and we have obviously a friendship outside of Twitch, which is pretty cool. um Although we haven't played any of the iMessage games lately, so I'm gonna sink your battleship here soon.
Well, I said the phone works both way, and I barely use mine.
I feel that. Well, the problem is like my job has taken on so much pressure from just like, it's like not even about selling cars anymore. It's about doing all these other things, reaching out to customers, doing all these things because it's so slow, and it's like they're really like hounding on it. So it's like if I'm at work, I am like trying my best. Yeah, it sucks because I like to focus on this more. But so the beginning, what got you into? Well, let's start with drag because I'm feeling drag started before Twitch did.
Yes, yeah. Well, I was first exposed to drag back when I lived in South Florida. I did an internship at a very well-known restaurant. It's called Palace Bar in South Beach. Very legendary for their performers, and actually Malaysia Baby Doll Fox, who was just on this season of Drag Race, who went home on last week's episode by the time that we're filming this. She's at the Palace. Really? I didn't meet her or anything like that because my quote unquote generation was back in like 2014. But I did a fabulous internship for school, learned different aspects. It was my first real introduction to the restaurant business. So did a lot of hosting, helped out the servers. At one point, I was helping out the drag queens, and how I got introduced to drag is because they do put on drag performances. And part of my thing was like helping them any way I could for an entire week. And that is also how I met my original drag mother, TP Lords, national club kid, all-around entertainer, internationally known. She's currently in Thailand, just on vacation because she absolutely deserves it. She was very nice, she was very sweet, and she jokingly, while I was helping out, said that this is my daughter. I think back then my name was like Leandra, that's what she named me. Leandra Lords. Very quickly changed because I do not like the name Leandra. So that was like back 2014. Now cut to 4 years later, or technically 3 years later, 2017. I start going to my local gay club. They are having their version of a local drag race. I saw it. I liked what I saw in terms of competing. I'm a very competitive person. And it looked like something that I really wanted to jump into because I have a very extensive performance background. Nothing professional, like no ballet or anything like that. But back in like, for instance, high school, I was co-captain of Color Guard. I did some cheerleading. I was in a competitive hip hop team for the city of Miami Beach. Right. So I wanted to do more of that. I just wanted to perform, to get out there. I think I was trying to be like a makeup influencer at this point. I just wanted something to do social, right? Because I always wanted to like break out into YouTube, not knowing how difficult it is in terms of like editing, right, creativity, putting things together, et cetera, et cetera. Also spending at this point your own money on products that I wasn't at the time really able to afford. Right. Like, not looking back at it now, completely different ball game, because I think at the time I was only making like $8-9 an hour. So a $40 palette back then was an extreme investment, right? Whereas a $40 palette now is like chump change.
Right. So Well, one, I mean, you can see in your performances that choreography and dance and a lot of time is put into the thought and talent from watching you. Like I have, not really, really.
No.
You're just naturally just get up there and can move.
Yes.
Because I mean, you're
Most of
very.
us do.
I mean, I know, but like it just yours. So I've seen a
It
lot
looks
of
fun.
it. Absolutely. I mean,
It looks planned. It's absolutely not. Every single performance I wing.
well, then good for you. Was TwitchCon like that too,
Yeah.
or
I marked what I wanted to do.
right?
So, for instance, I had to mark when I stepped onto the stage. I marked when I did like when I went backwards and I was laying on
Right.
my back
Mm-hmm.
with my legs to the side.
Yeah.
I marked that, and then I marked the hand voguing into the dip.
Gotcha.
That is all I marked. I marked 1, 2, and 3. I'm like 3 individual gags that that I need. So one was the like reveal into the outfit, one was the back, and then one was the dip.
Wow. Well, we
And
couldn't
then everything
tell.
else I just
Or
yeah.
at least I couldn't. I don't know. I enjoy watching drag, but a lot of it's just going and like seeing my friends perform at local bars and clubs, and I fell in love with drag. I graduated. I graduated high school in 16. I got into a relationship, which at the time, at the beginning of the relationship, I thought I was straight, and I started moving into a bisexual, then getting into a. I'm realizing I'm just gay, and I was in that
Mhm.
relationship for about 2 years, and he was very secluded from the gay community. Like we didn't go to bars, we didn't do anything. We weren't like I wasn't allowed, and
Oh.
yeah, it was a interesting relationship. But getting out of that, and it was right when after we broke up, about a month afterwards, I got into another relationship, and he was very much involved. Actually, the first time we were talking was his last performance as a drag queen. So he introduced me to a lot of drag, and a lot of my friends do drag now, and it became a passion of mine to watch. Like I'm a huge supporter of the drag community, and trans community, and so many other communities, and a lot of that came later on in life. Like I didn't know anything about it, I didn't know it was a thing, and now I enjoy watching people be happy and enjoy what they're doing. So that's been a lot of my focus, is to push for the safety and to push for the just being yourself and enjoying who you are, because I struggled with it for so long, and I still do. Like I'm still finding out who I am, and if it wasn't for the drag community, I I don't think I would have found or be where I'm at now, just because like I said, I get to go watch my friends go out and just be who they want to be and be themselves. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about drag and so many other communities within the LGBTQI plus community. So one, thank you for that, and thank you to the drag community for that. But I I just I enjoy it so much. So like hopefully I get to see you perform again here very soon.
It'll be nice. It'll be fun.
Yeah,
I said, just talk to your local show producer and be like, I want this bitch out here. Like, reach out to her.
I can absolutely do that.
That's all it takes. 90% of the work is finding a mutual connection
mhm.
in terms of like knowing someone.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that, because I was watching your story one time, and one of my best friends down here, DJ underscore Ghosty Boy, little shout out there. His fiance is a drag queen, Michelle Levine, who will be on here the first Friday of next month.
Why?
Yeah, and I was out watching them perform one time, and they had a friend out there who was on your story down in Florida.
Who?
I'm trying to remember their name. I'm sorry.
Who was?
I will let you know who it was, and they were amazing. I only got to meet them once and in passing, just backstage, and they were incredible. So I'll let you know who it was, but
I'm trying to think.
I know I'm trying to think too. Let me look it up. But in the meantime, tell us, how'd you get into Twitch?
So Twitch started very early into pandemic. I started my so I was introduced to Twitch
Hmm.
back in, I would like to say, 2019 by my good friend Queen Nicki Mirage. Um, she was not supporting her local drag. No, I'm kidding. She was supporting her local drag, but she also wanted to break out into something online, and she really enjoyed video games. So she started Twitch. I, at that time, didn't really understand it. I didn't know what she was doing. I didn't know what streaming was. I didn't know why people wanted to stream. I was like, I'm here performing for the crowd. Where are you, bitch? And she was like, I'm at home playing video games, like having fun. And I like blew my mind. Cut to literally early pandemic. Um, I started watching a lot of her content because that was like my only source of entertainment. Um, so I was like, wow, this is really fun. And then one of my drag sisters, Inertia, she started streaming right after the pandemic started, like very early on.
Hmm.
Um, and I was like, wow, my two of my friends are doing this. And I felt I have major FOMO. And so I said, I want to do this too. So I started streaming with a MacBook, and my first ever game stream was Dream Daddy because it was the only thing that I could get to run on my MacBook.
That's so funny. I love that. My story was pretty similar. It was I didn't know really what Twitch was,
Mhm.
and I got a gaming PC when I moved out with my sister and her husband, and he talked me into it, and I ended up getting it. And my friends were like, "You need to stream on Twitch." And I was like, "Oh my god, absolutely! What's Twitch?" So, so after finding out what it was, I was kind of hooked, and got to affiliate after about a little less than a month of doing it, and I was like, you know what?
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun. It was like one of those things that really grabbed you. It's like, oh wait, there's something happening, and I was really excited about that. And I've been into it ever since. I stopped once or twice just to like take a mental breather because we put a lot of time and effort and money into it, and I needed some time as well, just to myself, and was going through like some depressive phases, and I kind of realized that this was what something that kind of got me out of those. Um, but just so you know, the queen that was performing was Adriana Fuentes.
Oh, yes.
Yes. But
I don't know her personally. She's been I think she used to live in Florida,
mhm.
and she performed at my bar a couple of times.
It was just
And
funny. I was
then
like, I know
and then
her.
she's good friends with one of my drag sisters up there in Kentucky.
Well, perfect. I'll start reaching out around here. I don't have too many connections down here because I just moved down here a year ago,
Hmm.
and I want to try and get
Yeah,
some of my
make
friends
your
booked
friends.
around here. Mm-hmm.
Slay.
Problem is, it's like an hour drive down to Richmond or an hour drive up to DC. But
Yeah, all of New England fits in our panhandle.
yeah, right. Well, Rose Evergreen is up in DC,
Good for
so
her.
I don't know if now I don't know who you got to connect with or not, but that it's one of the only queens that I know that does Twitch around here. So I don't know. I need to get out there and start
I
branching
would
out.
meet more of your local entertainers. I would
I
say
need to.
hello and befriend other people.
Absolutely, I need to. If anybody's watching, I'm sorry I suck. I need to get out more, but I work like 50 hours a week, and then I come home after a long day, and I get on here and I gruel on the Twitch, on that Twitch, their Twitch stream thingy
I
that you
know.
do.
I completely feel you.
Quoting my grandfather.
It's. I love that.
He was cracking me up when I told him I had somebody who does my artwork in California. He's like, "You know somebody from California?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Papa, I know someone from like most states and a lot of countries out there."
International.
It's like I'm an international superstar, grandfather. Not really. I suck, but some
You
people
better
like
you
me.
better look at your analytics and see that 1% in Australia and be like, I'm an
Oh yeah,
international superstar.
my favorite was when I started doing TikTok, and I
Mhm.
started when I first started TikTok. So TikTok went from like I think a year of having TikTok, I just end up growing like to like 400 followers over like a year. I
What?
didn't post anything, and so it was just like, I think it's just from Twitch, things like that. And then I posted one video, and it got like 1,000 views, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be famous, right? And I was like, this is crazy. So I kept posting more videos and started doing a little better. And then right before I got shadow banned, I was going up about 1,000 followers a day, and I was like, "This is insane." And it's funny you mentioned that because I looked at the analytics and I was like, "Oh my god, like 0.3% of my followers are from the Philippines." It was just so funny. I'm like, I don't. It's crazy how like your reach kind of like goes out and branches out.
Yeah.
It's insane. Or friends would
I
be
like
like,
it for fun.
mm-hmm, for sure. I'll have friends say like, oh, my family's from here. And I'm like, oh, cool. I have friends out there. And they're like, yeah, I want to go visit. And I was like, well, if you ever go visit, I'll go with you. Because like, I want to go see these people. Panda of Sweden, I'm coming for you.
Slay.
Yeah. So, um, what's your favorite game to stream on Twitch? Would you say? Do you have one
Um,
besides hunting for the daddies?
no, that I actually only played that once. I haven't revisited ever since 2020. Uh, yeah. I don't know. I'm not even kidding. I got an entire gaming laptop to stream and play Dead by Daylight. Like that was I tried to do some variety just to keep it at like fresh and entertaining, but
Right.
most of my audience grew on Dead by Daylight on its own. And then London actually got me into Fortnite, and so that's where my progression of Dead by Daylight Fortnite comes from. I try to do like variety story games, but honestly, they're so complicated, and I'm not good with puzzles. So I like something that's very repetitive. So anything that's like super repetitive or fairly easy, I like to do. I will say, however, my favorite game of all time, story base wise, is probably Alien Isolation, because I just have a lot of good relationship with that game.
I've always wanted to play it, and I got it one time because I was going to try and stream it, and it
Mhm.
wouldn't play. I downloaded it, it wouldn't play, and I don't know why. So I took it off my computer, and I said, well, what if I
Yeah.
re-download it and try it again? Still wouldn't play. I don't know what it was, what caused me from, like, I couldn't even play it
What
off
were you
stream.
downloading it on?
I think I was through Game Pass.
That's so strange. Oh, I downloaded it through Epic.
Oh, I'll have to try it on Epic then.
Yeah, it was. So I originally played it on Game Pass, um, it was also like my first attempt at a 24-hour stream. I think I made it 19 and a half hours, with no sleep. I didn't know that people sleep through there sometimes. I didn't know that was a thing. Like take a cute little nap, put on a movie, and then like come back. I didn't know that was a thing. Um, but no, pretty much I woke up and I immediately hit start stream, and by the 19th hour, I was, you know,
Yeah, I mean,
dead.
I think the longest stream I've ever done was like 6 hours, so like good for you.
Yeah. No,
I
when I started, I was only streaming once a day. I mean once a week. And so it was a 12-hour stream every Tuesday for like my first 7, 8 months of streaming. Started at 6 p.m., ended at 6 a.m.
goodness. I, props to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't. I enjoy streaming, but it exhausts. Like I get so exhausted so quickly. We need a 24-hour stream for your 5,000 followers.
You better.
Yeah, in like 5 years.
Yeah, you never know. All it takes is one good TikTok.
All it takes is one good TikTok.
All it takes is one good TikTok. I will say analytics are weird and algorithms are strange.
Yeah.
But when they grab onto you, just ride it. Just ride the ride. Let it be what it is,
I
and then
yeah.
work.
For sure. I I've been doing. It's funny because especially with TikTok, I will look at the algorithm and I will put so much effort into a video. I'm like, oh my gosh,
No,
it's gonna do really good. It's gonna be so funny, and then 300
no.
views. Actually, usually like 1,000. But like then I'll like sit there and I'll scroll through TikTok. And I'm like, oh, I could do something like that. And I'm like, but I don't know if I'll post it. I don't think anyone will like it. And then all of a sudden, like 100,000 views later, I'm like,
They're that.
I almost didn't even post this.
No, my most watched TikTok is literally me sitting in my chair reacting to Onryo coming out of the well in the loading screen. I'm not even kidding.
I'll have to
Like
go
you
watch
know,
it.
like when she comes up and then the eye thing happens.
Yes.
Like I was just like this, and all I did was shudder just a little bit, and I said, "Oh wow." And then literally, I hit post because I think it was when she was like just released.
Right.
Um, 200,000 views for no reason.
That's crazy.
She just came out of a well.
It's so funny how that works. So funny.
It's strange. But literally, I was just like, write it. Best thing to do is, fun things about TikTok in particular is the way you know something is doing good is if people save it, if people share it, and if people watch it all the way through. Likes are nice, but the things that get it more traction is if people click the share button and click copy link or actually share it,
Right.
and the save.
Gotcha.
Very good to have.
Noted. So if you're watching this and you go watch any of my TikToks if I ever post any more again, I will. I'm gonna be posting more TikToks here soon. But go do those things, but also do them for Marisol as well. We can be.
You can if you want to. No pressure.
All the pressure in the world. You
No.
have to do it.
No, I'm okay. I'm good.
So funny. So any big events happening here soon?
I'm currently in under a couple NDAs, so can't say anything too much.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, it's just a lot. See, you're gonna be seeing a lot less of me, due to going from 3 nights a week, to 2 nights a week. So I'll only be live Tuesdays and Thursdays at like around 8:45 Pacific. No, 8:45 Eastern. I used to do streams on Sundays, but honestly, I need a day to myself because
that.
I work a 40-hour week job. I do drag basically every single weekend, which takes about anywhere from 12 hours of my weekend, which is only 48 hours. So that's already like I'm sleeping through most of it as well. And I really just needed a day to myself.
For sure.
Because last year I actually went on an indefinite hiatus, exactly on March 7th, and I did not return until like middle of April, like right after my birthday and right after what was supposed to be my 2 years on Twitch.
Oh wow.
So I missed my birthday and my 2 years on Twitch, and I said, "Hey, I'm back," like out of the blue on a random, I think Wednesday.
Sometimes you need that though. I feel like a lot of times whenever I have most of my energy is coming back from taking off a little bit. I feel like it's healthy. It's important for everyone.
Well, you have more of a drive, especially if you miss it and you enjoy what you do. Because at that point, Dead by Daylight was running me dry, and I love the game a lot, and I always come back to the game because I'm just good at the game.
Yeah, right.
But sometimes it can be extremely mentally, and at that time, I did not have an outlet to be able to take away from that. So like for instance, if I was getting extremely frustrated with the game, I didn't have Fortnite to jump into. I didn't have like Nintendo Switch games to jump into to just kind of take me out of that state.
Yeah, for sure. I think Dead by Daylight was one of those. Dead by Daylight was my start too. So I started off in Dead by Daylight for the first probably 2 or 3 months. Every stream was Dead by Daylight, and then I started trying to branch off a little bit because I just didn't want to be just a Dead by Daylight streamer, and I probably took like a year and a half off of Dead by Daylight after about 6 months, and it wasn't until recently that I started playing Dead by Daylight again. I don't know where my love for it came back from, but I've been really enjoying it. So I really enjoy that. Are there any product reviews we can look forward to coming up? here soon?
Yeah, they're sending me more things. I'll text you what they're sending me next.
Hell yeah. I also saw on Instagram that you got followed by, what was the brand called?
NYX Cosmetics.
Yes.
So I have a TikTok about it. It's actually pinned on my profile. But basically they posted a tweet for like, like algorithm traction, like to gain, interaction and stuff like that. So they said, "Oh, comment your zodiac sign, and I'll give you like a lip product to try out."
Right.
And I said, "No, bitch, you're giving me a combo. These are my placements, and I want a trio." So they said this particular lip liner, this particular lipstick, and this gloss, and this glitter, since you want to be extra. And I said, perfect. I bought the products. I think it was like maybe like $20 worth of makeup, which, and like the grand scheme of things now, luckily for me, is not super expensive. It's also NYX Cosmetics, which I really enjoy because they're very inexpensive, and they're also drugstores, so you can find them at Target, you can find them at a CVS, like you can pretty much go anywhere and get these products. Um, and yeah, no, I did the look, I did the lip, and then I tagged them. And when I tagged them on TikTok and Twitter is where I posted it, and then Instagram, they immediately followed me back on Twitter and TikTok, but not on Instagram. And so they recently just followed me as of like 2 days ago, I think, on Instagram, because they reached out wanting to be able to use the video that I posted in like future promotions and such.
That's awesome.
Which I won't be getting paid for, but
it's something. It's a start, at least.
Something. Yeah, I mean, if they make their money, like if I say yes or no, it's not really gonna affect their bag.
Right.
It might just be more exposure for myself.
For yourself, right. 100%.
Especially for someone who's been doing makeup for about 5 years at this point, but drag makeup, I don't do like typical glamour, I don't do typical beauty, I don't do like MUA stuff. So I'm starting to want to break into that like beauty industry just a little bit more.
Yeah. Do you have any future goals or plans you want to do with that?
Be able to, well, in the long term, I would like to put out a product. But at least as of right now, I'm just trying to get on like a PR list. Right. So I mean, NYX, if you're out there, besties.
Yeah, if you're watching this right now,
saying, I will send you this clip. I will DM you this clip. Don't worry about it. Now, yeah, I was trying to get into a couple different brands. Have not heard back from any of them, unfortunately. I do need to, everybody asked for a media kit. I've yet to make a media kit because I just find it very overwhelming. I feel like what a lot of people don't realize is that it's not just going live, especially for someone like me, because for me it's getting home from work, making sure that my face is shaved because this is the aesthetic that I like to present. Take about half an hour to an hour to get into makeup, hit go live, sit here, entertain while I'm doing makeup, play video games, and try to promote all of this on multiple platforms, and still try to be as engaging as possible. So
yeah,
what might be, like, for instance, if I wasn't doing drag and I was just here, so much easier. I will just hit go live and start playing a video game. That's fine. But for me, getting into drag is like that extra step that just makes me just a little bit different. And I'm also really pretty, and I'm very nice to look at. So
I agree 100%. I got to look at you in person a couple times.
Oh,
and
sure did.
just as beautiful, if not more.
Thank you.
No, but genuinely, I enjoy your content. I enjoy like watching you, and I enjoy especially performing. Every time I get with like a friend who either does drag or a friend who is interested in drag, I'm like, you have to watch some of my friends from TwitchCon. That was one of my favorite moments. Honestly, I think watching the drag showcase at TwitchCon was one of my biggest, probably, like, events that happened in my life. Not like trying to be dramatic, but like honestly, that made me want to come back, and it gave me that, like, you should do something one day. Like, obviously not
Yeah.
drag. I'm not coordinated enough or talented enough with a brush, but something that like
Yes.
you can go up and inspire somebody else, and that's my goal. um I've had a lot of friends, especially whenever I start streaming, like okay, so when people find out, oh, you're a streamer, first of all, I'm not that big of a streamer, and I think in some people's eyes they just assume that I am, and they're like, so how much money do you make? Like, that's always their
Okay.
first question, and I'm like, not as much as you think. Well, at least I don't personally. Everyone makes different. First of all, you can have 200 followers and make a lot more than somebody who has 1,600 followers.
Very
Because
that.
it's
I've
just a
seen it.
matter of, yeah, all the time. I go into people's streams all the time, and I'm happy for them. I'm just like, how is that even happening? Like, it's like 500 gifted subs from one person. I'm like, good for you. But it's also never been my focus. I don't like that. I've never really cared about making money as much as it's been about reaching people. Like, for me, everyone's like, well, is this going to help you if I buy this product um from G Fuel? And I was like, I mean, it will, but like, for me, it's about getting a product out there and just looking a little better to G Fuel, just that way I can do more things with them. I You can go stream on their Twitch page, things like that, and I would love to do that one day. So something that I would like to get into. But things like that, I find it cool. More so, figuring out how can I reach more people? How can I actually touch like someone's heart versus, you know, money is important, but it's just not everything. I don't know.
Completely agree.
Yeah, but for me,
And
again,
you don't go into content creation for the money, that's for sure. You
yeah,
go into
because you're
content
not gonna
creation
see
because,
it for a long time.
and even if you do, it's just very unreliable in terms of payouts.
Yeah,
One month, what might be extremely great, one month might be uh might be terrible. I will say I had my biggest payouts were last year before I took my hiatus. Like, I was making insanely good money, and then last month I had my lowest payout that I've had in almost 3 years of streaming, and that was just last month.
isn't that crazy? I
It's interesting.
I don't know what your daily job is, but take it from
Mhm.
somebody who works purely off of commission, not only just from content, but like as like my day job is 100% commission. If I don't sell a car, I'm not making squat. So
Absolutely.
so like it's hard. You have to plan. It makes it harder to plan because some days, I'm just throwing out random figures, but like some months you'll make $2,000, some months you'll make six. Like, you just don't know, or more, or whatever. I don't know. But it's like one of those things where it's like you just got to plan, and I just take all my money and put it back into stream somehow, anyways. So, but
No, literally, that's what people also don't see is like we'll start off with something, but currently I'm not using the same mic I started with. I'm not using the same camera I started with. I'm not even using the same keyboard or mouse that I started with.
Mhm.
I still have them, but I have slowly like upgraded my things, my backgrounds, my green screen. Um, and it all comes with wanting to invest in this in what we do.
For sure. I think this has been my biggest investment, other than like a car, or I've probably put more money into streaming than I did my first few months of rent.
Oh my.
Yeah, like, I mean, I put a decent chunk into it, and I'm always trying to upgrade things too.
Yeah.
But like, for example, this new camera. Oh my god, I love it so much. Everyone keeps
Which camera are you
commenting.
using?
I'm using an Elgato face cam, and
Oh,
it's just,
period.
oh,
You love to see. Is it the big square one or like the long one?
the big square one.
Oh, absolutely.
I absolutely love it. I just changed from this other one that I've had since like almost the beginning of streaming,
Mhm.
and I'm so glad I did. And I finally got my ring light behind it. I had to get my lighting and everything. I don't know if y'all need to go watch this either live now or on YouTube, and then go compare it to last week and
Mhm.
just see the difference. It's because of the lighting and because of some of the filters I put on the camera. But it went from
Yeah.
like hey, this is going to be super high definition, but you're going to look like a ghost. And then now it's like with some of the filters and everything, I feel like this is a
Yep.
good setup. I'm happy with my camera for a while now. I don't know how long it'll be, but I'm going to keep this for a while. I really like
I
this
will
one.
say, because I'm also using the Elgato Facecam.
Oh, nice.
It's such a big upgrade, but such a needed investment
So
for
neat.
me personally, because it just made the quality, it made the quality of my streams look just a little bit more professional, like things that you would see, um, on a higher content creator like YouTube channel
Mhm.
sort of thing. Um, Luckily, like my computer is still fairly new, so like I'm able to run things at like a higher graphic. But
Right.
back when I was streaming on like a laptop, everything had to be low to like medium to low in terms of gaming, and then my camera also had to be, even though I had a 1080p camera, I was streaming at 720 off of
Mhm.
it. Um, just to like make everything like ratio. Like as of right now, I'm streaming at 1080p at 60 FPS, which is something that like in my first year or two of streaming, I could not even like fathom.
Yeah, a lot of my problem was the fact that I didn't know. You don't know what you
That
don't know.
too.
It's like
Yeah,
I can go in
there's not
and
a guide for this. You learn as you go.
for sure. I like so here's a perfect example of that. So I went into my local coffee shop and I said, "Hey, I would like to put on like a little streaming class. Like, hey, this is what I learned from streaming. I've been doing it for a couple years now. I know a
Hmm.
lot of people ask me questions. How do I start? What do I do this? When do I do that? And how do I do this? Things like that." So I said, "Well, why don't I put a little group together and I can walk everyone through my steps so that way I can kind of teach people and see what's going, show them
It's
some of the
powerful.
ropes." Right. And nobody came. But beside the point, um, the thing that like really it's still to this day kind of upset me was I went into a Staples or
Hmm.
wherever and Office Max or something, and I went and I got my stuff printed off, and the girl goes, "Oh, hey, he's a streamer. He's putting on this little like class. You should go watch him stream." And the guy behind the counter, who is about the same level as me, but he didn't know. Like I looked at his channel or whatever because he really upset me, and his response was, "I've been streaming for 2 years. I don't need help." And I was like, I
There's
learned,
always something to learn.
yeah. I mean, I learned more from like so many people. Like it doesn't
Hmm.
matter what level you're at. I mean, you can have 1 million followers, you can have 4 followers. Like I see stuff that
Yeah.
impresses me all the time. I'm like, oh gosh, I need to try something like that. So like always learn, always change things. And like for
Um,
example, if it wasn't for iPuppy who mentioned like you don't need to upgrade some stuff, just fix your settings, and I was like,
no, literally, it's all about your settings, and it's the way that like I still stream off, like to that point before transitioning between 720p to 1080. My settings had been the same since I started streaming.
mm-hmm.
Like that was like almost 3 years of the same exact settings that I had on like a notepad, on my phone. It
Yeah,
wasn't until like me like asking people who do stream in 1080p, I'm like, what is your resolution? What is your bit rate? Bit rate is the biggest thing that nobody really knows about, and it's a lot of trial and error.
right.
Also, being able to match it to what your internet is capable of broadcasting as well.
Right. Yeah. I'll probably need to get with you because I definitely need some tips and tricks in that area because I'm terrible when it comes to like settings, things like that. As I'm sure you all can tell, I don't know if anybody can tell who watches my stream pretty regularly, but like, can you tell a difference in audio? Because I adjusted my audio this morning, and I don't know if I'm clearer. I don't know if I'm louder or whatnot, but I thought I had some like audio issues, and I was like, I'm gonna look at my settings, and I fooled around with it. I feel like it sounds a little better, but I don't know. But anyways, my audio settings, I've had the same mic since probably about 5 months into streaming, and I just now changed the settings, and I'm actually happy with the audio now. And that's been my biggest grief since I started streaming. I just changed it. Took 20 minutes.
Oh, I'm listening to you right now, and you sound really good on stream.
Oh, good. Well, thank you.
Okay, now mute you back up.
You sound great. Now shut the fuck
Silence,
up.
Wonka.
So funny. Oh my goodness. I am excited for TwitchCon this year. Are you going?
I'm planning at it. I'm planning on it at this point.
Right.
One of the benefits of being a part of Twitch-related things was virtually did not have to pay for anything.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like accommodations, travel, and stipend.
Oh, nice.
But I'm not sure whether I'm doing anything directly related with Twitch this year. So covering for like my own hotel, covering for my own flights. Definitely interesting. I definitely have to see if I'm able to afford everything. Also, as of right now, I'm still in a big debate of whether or not I'm moving out of the state of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So if I do decide to move out of the state of Florida, more than likely won't be able to afford TwitchCon. But if I don't, then it is definitely possible that I'll be there.
Yeah, good. I mean, I hope so because I'd love to see you again. That was my thing. Is I was sitting here planning. I'm like, am I going to go to TwitchCon or Haslan's invited me to an event that he put together, and I was like, am I going to go to that or am I going to go here? And I don't think I can afford both because I looked at like tickets and oh my god, like $1,200 round trip. I'm like, what the shit? It's just insane. Just insane. So if only my boss was watching. I wish I could have a raise or given some like deals, just push them my way. But he probably doesn't, won't know this because he's not ever watching my streams. My boss is watching my stream. So.
Totally. Yeah, I'm gonna be very honest. I did not listen to you for just a second because someone was asking me for my lip combo.
I saw that.
And I must provide the answers. And so I provided the answers in the chat.
Absolutely.
But y'all, liquid lip. It looks like this. Just get it in Darling Damsel, and then the lip liner is just a little bit darker in Total Baller. You're welcome, Michelle.
Absolutely, Koozie. Absolutely. We got this.
Yeah. I will say that, like, for instance, it's so expensive to go to TwitchCon. Like, probably hotels are in the thousands, with round trip tickets to Las Vegas being about $500-$600.
Yeah.
From at least where I'm going, from where I am.
I looked at Vegas. I obviously can't plan out that far ahead, but when I was gonna go for another event, it was like it's literally $1,200 round trip for me.
Yeah, like I might fly into California and have my friend drive me to Vegas.
I might pray and then take Spirit Airlines.
No, absolutely not. It's so much more expensive in the end. Like, for instance, like if I have like I have an American Airlines credit card. So for instance, my first checked bag is free and free carry-on and free personal item. When I flew back with Spirit one time from Chicago, I flew there American, had to fly back Spirit. On my flight back, they made me pay for my carry-on.
Oh my god.
And I was like, they were like, yeah, only a personal item is free and it needs to fit in these margins. If not, you're paying for 2 carry-ons. And I said, oh.
I'm gonna
so my personal item was like nearly a duffel bag.
That's crazy.
It charges for everything. It charges you to breathe. And
it's probably not good air either.
No.
My goodness. Flights are so expensive. I just
Thank you.
COVID really fucked some shit up.
No, because I'm not the best person in the world. But I did travel slightly throughout COVID. Because flights were extremely inexpensive.
Yeah, I mean,
I was, taking all of the necessary precautions. I was making sure I was negative. I was quarantined as soon as I got there, and I was making sure I was tested before I came back. And I wore my mask on the plane. If I even had, I was extremely careful. And you know what's so funny? I did get COVID twice, and it was never on a trip.
Really?
It was here home in Florida.
I swear I've had COVID at least 2 times. I know I've had it
I had it
once
twice.
for sure.
I had
My-
the first strand and the third strand. I skipped the second.
I don't even know what strains I had. I just remember having it. The lady called me, and she's like, "I just want to let you know that you tested positive for COVID." And I'm like,
Oh no.
"Really? I'm on the treadmill right now." Back when I exercised,
Mhm.
so you know it was a while ago, and I was just like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I just
Well,
barely
some
felt
people
it."
don't display symptoms.
Yeah.
Like
And
I
then,
didn't. The only reason I knew is because I took a positive test.
yeah.
Like I was completely fine both times I had it.
Well, the crazy thing too is that there was a couple other times where I was around people who had it. Like I lived in the house with people who had it,
Mm.
and they tested positive. I tested negative, and I was the sickest one out of all of them. It was just so weird. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's weird.
But hey, so when are we gonna do co-stream together? Like
I don't
obviously
know.
not this, but like gaming and like.
You gotta let me know. I can come on whenever. Just Tuesdays and Thursdays, I would rather keep to myself.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you do want to do it on one of those nights, I'm more than happy to accommodate. I just, since I cut a day of streaming, I would still want to fit some variety into my things.
For sure.
I need to find out when I'm doing my main game, when I'm doing variety, and what I'm doing in general. Because it's always gonna be like drag for at least the first hour, but from there, I with this change, I don't know anything about the directions I'm going in with my channel.
Right.
And it's the first time in almost 3 years because I make 3 years on Twitch next month, early next
wow.
month.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So like it's the first time where I'm like not relying on Dead by Daylight to keep my numbers up. I'm relying on myself.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's one thing I've always struggled with. Not that it was something that I wanted to like focus on, because
Mhm.
in reality, going out and having fun is the most important thing. Being able to communicate with your community, things like that. But one thing I always was curious about, I was like, why are my numbers have always been about the same? They've really never gone up. They've gone down, but they've really never gone up past a certain point. So I was just like always curious on what would cause that. So I'm glad to see that you were able to switch games and it still maintain those numbers, because a lot of times it was the
Oh, I didn't say I was maintaining numbers. I'm saying I'm starting fresh. It depends. I'm lucky enough that my community likes both games. I'm not entirely sure that they like me. They like me to an extent, but they said, "Bitch, play this game." I said, "Okay, cute." They like me more playing the game. They do anything else.
That's funny. A lot of times it's like I'll go into people's streams and they'll mention, "Oh my gosh, split out Fortnite Legends," and I'm like, I don't. I need to
You're like,
change my game. I can't keep playing Fortnite because people
but
are
it's
knowing
so
me for it.
good.
I love Fortnite though. That's my problem. Is I love Fortnite and I love Dead by Daylight. But Dead by Daylight comes and goes. The problem with Dead by Daylight is it's so repetitive. At least Fortnite's different. Like it changes a lot.
Yeah. I feel like Dead by Daylight. After you play it once, you play it again.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like with the changes that they make and consistently nerfing and buffing and adding new characters and stuff like that, it wasn't like that back then, because there was only a limited amount of things you could do.
Right.
And the game was honestly horrible to both killer and survivor. And so everybody lost in the end, no matter if you win or lose. For now, everyone's like focused on like their winnings and their losings and that sort of thing. So I guess that's why they're making like all the changes and they're also trying to keep it fresh, because back then they didn't have games that directly competed with them, like the what's it called? The
VHS? No.
VHS was one of them. Home Sweet Home was another, back when Home Sweet Home was a thing. What else? I'm thinking of the one that actually has Ashley in it. Evil Dead.
Oh yes, yeah.
Evil Dead knocked Dead by Daylight a few pegs.
Yeah, for sure. I remember playing it a little bit. I couldn't get into it, but I just don't think I could comprehend it. There's like so much to it for me, at least at the beginning, that I was just like, the only time I ever played it was on stream, and I just felt like it wasn't entertaining. The fact that I'm like, what do I do? Hey, Ghosty Boy, what do I do? Like, I don't, like, every 5 seconds, I was like, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I'm just shooting shit, which,
Yeah.
so, you know, that was my extent of that game. But I'm glad to get back into Dead by Daylight. I'm curious to see which direction they're going to end up going with certain things. I would like to see some new killers, especially the Duolingo owl.
We've gotten like 3.
Oh no, I'm saying like there are certain killers that I want to see.
The Duolingo owl?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do they haunt you every day?
Have you ever been threatened at like 2:30 in the morning? Like, have you taken your Spanish lessons? And I'm like,
no.
Well, it happens to me all the time.
I used to have the app, and I looked at it, and I'm like, "You're not getting it out of me." Swipe left.
Maybe that's maybe that's
one of the... have a backbone, owl.
Look, us owls are competitive. Okay.
That's true. That's fair.
Yeah. I did enjoy using. Actually, I learned a lot of Spanish at the beginning. In like 2 or 3 weeks, I learned a lot of Spanish using Duolingo, and then it got too overwhelming for me.
Yeah, I mean that's how I learned the basis of Portuguese. I'm lucky enough that it's very similar to Spanish, so context clues. I can read it. I can't really understand it when people speak it, but I can definitely read it and decipher.
Right.
But ever since that, I'm like, Duolingo owl, you get the fuck out of my life. I don't need you.
Leave me alone. I feel that a lot. Are there any activities that you like to do outside of streaming or Twitch, or streaming or drag?
Unfortunately, I don't have the time to do anything outside of stream and drag.
Right.
Because it takes, if I'm not doing either, and if I'm not at work, I am trying to catch up on sleep, because I overwork myself every single week. I don't really complain about it because I've done this to myself. But I don't have any, like, my hobby was drag before I made it a career. And then my hobby was stream until I also made it a career.
Yeah.
And so don't monetize your hobbies.
Don't monetize
your hobbies. Enjoy them.
Just enjoy them.
Have something to do.
For sure. Which is what I need to start doing, is trying to figure out what I like to do outside of work and stream on.
Yep.
So I don't really have any days off because of the fact of, like, I plan my streams on my days off.
Your days off, absolutely.
Because it's like, I mean, a lot of times, like, sometimes you'll see me come on and I'm just dead from work. Especially if it's like the last day of the month, I will work from 9 to 8 o'clock, and then I'll come on stream from 9 to 1. Like, it's terrible. It's rough. So
that's me. I get off at work at 7. I'm live by 8:30, and I'm off at 2.
It's insane. It's like, I mean, and I love it, and I wouldn't want to do anything else, but like, oh my God.
Don't lie to that. No, I'm kidding.
No,
get your life back.
I went out of the car business. Sorry, Kuzi, but I went out of the car business at some point from preferably social media stuff, but we'll see. So make sure to go like, share, subscribe, comment, and apparently
I said, honestly, just enjoy the vibes. I said, like, without, like, for instance, like, with having my lowest income of Twitch, like, ever, in terms of payout, last month, which means that paycheck is coming
this month, right?
It's coming in a couple of days, and it's gonna hit my account, and I'm not even gonna notice it because that's how low it was. With that, like, you would think, because last year it happened the same thing. Like, I think my viewership dropped a lot throughout March, and I said, I'm gonna step away completely. I'm never coming back. And then I missed it a lot, and so I came back, because I was streaming 5 days a week, and also working 5 days a week, and also still doing drag every single weekend.
Right.
And so that was a good 80 hours, 90 hours a week. You have like 140 hours in a week. That's weird. That's a lot. That's a lot of stress. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of getting nowhere. And when you do that, you also don't have time to communicate with your friends, with your family, with like acquaintances that you meet on social media and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's why I'm currently where I am.
Well, that's why I enjoy doing this. I started this stream and I didn't realize how much I actually enjoy it because I get to talk to somebody
Yeah.
where it's like on a face to face. It feels much more natural, and I love everyone in chat. But like sometimes it's hard, like to communicate for 2 years of your life is just looking at chat. And like I said, TwitchCon was one of those big events that changed it because I was like, I haven't met anybody in 2 years. 2 years, I don't know anybody. And I went to TwitchCon and it was
And
just
you met
like,
people in person.
yeah, and it's like walking around and everyone's like, oh my God, split out. And I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know you like are real. Like, it's like crazy.
Yeah.
It's just so
It's
crazy.
it's very strange because I'm an extrovert through and through. But throughout COVID and throughout like streaming, it has turned me into such an introvert in terms of like I don't want to go out, I don't want to talk to people. I'm very fine just being alone at home and talking to the few people that I do. But for instance, when I went to TwitchCon, I was like, I'm in my element because I know how to be extroverted because it comes natural to me.
Me
And it
too.
was very nice being able to like interact with everyone.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, because like that's something that I've always been a people person. I've been extroverted. Like, I tend to jump back and forth. Like the split, kind of like good and bad, hot and cold, like that kind of thing about my name is kind of true about me too. I'm both left and right brained. I'm both intro and extroverted. Like, it's like I got to experience the extroverted part of doing streaming, and it was really nice. It was a very refreshing moment, which is really funny though because half the people that I talk to a lot more or I'm in their chats and things like that, I met at TwitchCon but didn't really interact with. Like going in, it's like when I go watch a lot of the streams, like a lot of times I jump into Deer's stream or I'll jump into Drag Trashly stream, but I didn't really get to meet them at TwitchCon. It was like in passing, and like I think Drag Trashly, I think I ran into at the airport on the way home.
Slay.
Yeah, right. And now, like,
I said, I ran into my emo artist at the airport. I said, oh, you're leaving? He was like, yeah. I was like, oh, me too.
That's so
We
funny.
walked through security gate.
That's so crazy. One of the guys that I worked with at Buffalo Wild Wings was going to go visit his girlfriend as I was going to TwitchCon,
Really?
and we ran into each other in security. It's just kind of like weird how a lot of it happened.
Yeah. No, I love traveling. I love getting out of Florida. Florida's awful.
I need to travel more. Problem
You
is my
should.
job keeps me from traveling, which I'm very thankful.
Request it off. Save up, request it off.
No, it's true. It's true. I will say I'm very thankful for my manager who is in very much support of streaming and me doing social media stuff. So like if I need to do something for it or even outside of it, he's very like, yeah, sure, go do it. Just figure out how to get covered or whatever for certain things. For example, like GalaxyCon's coming up at the end of this month, and I was like, hey, is there any way I could have like that Saturday off? He said, yeah, just work your Thursday, which is great. It's just not heard of in our job. We don't ever get like Saturdays off. So thank you, Kizzy, for that.
Absolutely.
But I
Sorry, I have a lot of vanity. I'm just like, hey.
no, you're good. I tend to like watch myself when I stream. Do you do that too?
No.
Oh, I'm terrible.
I
at it.
watch the chat, Split Owl.
Oh yes. Well, some of our chats aren't as active, Marisol, so I have to watch myself.
Neither is mine, True.
I know, but seriously, like I'll watch, and
It'll be fine.
I'm like right over here, and chat's over here, so I can make that quick. I have to like watch myself. It's almost like, have you ever tried streaming without being able to hear yourself? Like right now, this is driving me crazy. I can't hear anything. I can't hear my own voice. Nothing. It's driving me insane.
What do you mean?
Like, do you have your audio loop back through the mic back into your
No.
headset? Oh, yeah. No, I hear myself talking.
Oh, you hear yourself when you talk?
Yeah.
Oh no. Let me turn it on. Let's see how.
I also have very bad like mumbling issues. So like a lot of times I'll try and
it helps you.
It's for me it does. I feel like I mumble a lot still, but like not nearly as bad. Streaming has helped out a lot because I can hear myself talk, and if I start mumbling, I'm like, listen, Split, if you don't fucking get yourself straight, I swear to God.
Oh, well, I mean, you are homosexual, so I don't know how that's gonna pan out.
Only on the weekends.
Oh!
And
Oh, so you're a Marine. Heard.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I was a little homosexual at TwitchCon too, but that's...
Oh, I know. No, but I will say I don't listen to myself because I find I'm easily distracted, and my own voice stops me from talking.
Oh, see, it's the opposite. Like I said, if I take it off, like I had my cousin Speedy here yesterday, and we're sitting there talking back and forth, and the fact that I knew that everyone could hear me, but I couldn't hear me, was driving me insane. I was like, this is just not normal.
That's what I call a personal preference.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
It also keeps me in check too, because like I said, I mumble.
Yeah.
I went up to this one lady who was a speech therapist for a school. I sold her a car, and I sat there. I'm like, oh, you have a master's degree in this. Speech, like I need help. I said I've struggled with this my entire life. I was like, I mumble a lot. What can I do to fix it? And she goes, slow down. And I'm like,
yeah.
All right. Yes, MB.
You just have to keep a very clear head and just speak at a... I know I literally listen to a lot more people who like speak slower, and then here I am yelling into the mic at every other day.
It's so funny. Yeah, that's why I like hearing my voice, because then it has helped me so much through it. I feel like, I don't know, I might still be bad. I mean, like I go back and I watch like my recordings, I'm like, that doesn't sound like me whenever I am talking right now, but I don't know. Like you said, personal preference.
That's why I don't listen to myself, because what I hear and what I think I sound like are two different things.
I go listen to myself, especially because now, after putting it on Spotify, I went to go listen to it, and there's like nothing but my voice, and I'm like, why do people watch me?
You have to learn to love the things you hate about yourself.
Yeah, true. That's very true. Very true. I've been working on that a lot in the last few years, especially. My dating history has not helped out with that. Good Lord.
Like, well, maybe don't date assholes.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
I think you're attracting a certain demographic.
Somehow,
huh?
I've put up a bunch of barriers recently. Since then, I'm like, nope, this is what I'm getting, and if I'm not getting it, then bye. Because I deserve at least some goodness, like being treated well, which is a new thing for me.
Really? Why is that?
Do you have time? I'm just kidding. No, but honestly,
we have 40 minutes.
We have 40 minutes. And how does that make you feel? To be honest, I mean, looking back at it, I think I didn't have enough confidence in myself. I was afraid of... I mean, my biggest fear, though, honestly, is probably like dying alone. And I was just settling so easily. And I fell into all the red flags. And I never realized... And I can tell that it's getting better because my ex came back into my life recently.
Ew.
And is not in my life currently.
Good.
For reasons. Yeah. That was a good experiment for me, and I passed. I blocked him on everything. So I wasn't dealing with the shit anymore. So that's a good thing. So if you're watching this, and the quote of Billy Joel, don't take any shit from anybody. That's why my new thing, like my new motto for myself is like, unapologetically be yourself, because then at that point it's like, this is what you're getting. If you're not happy with it, then whatever. Because like I treat people like gold, especially when I'm dating them.
Mhm.
I'll do such nice things for him, and then it usually comes back to bite me in the ass. So I told myself, I'm like, well, I'm gonna keep doing these things. If somebody doesn't like me treating them well, and they leave me for it, then obviously they weren't the ones. So
Work, boots.
but so what about you? What's keeping your life exciting these days other than Dragon Stream? If you were off, what do you typically do? If you don't mind sharing.
Sleep.
Sleep.
I'm not kidding when I said I don't have any time to myself. Like
So,
I do not relax. I really, and it's so sad to say, but if I'm so like engulfed in hustle culture because for instance I come from a family of immigrants that we immigrated to the United States after 9/11, like a month after 9/11.
oh wow.
I didn't get my citizenship status until 2012, but I was a resident beforehand. Um, Coming from like when my family back when we were in Peru, like we were, I would like to say, upper middle class. Like we did not have any hardships. I could have easily lived off my life in Peru and been fine.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as we moved into the US, my parents had to fit into a lot of stereotypical like jobs and placements, like definitely cleaners. Like my dad used to clean a ton of hotels, like not just one, had to work at multiple hotels. My mom as well had to work at different things, was a nanny at some point and that sort of thing, to provide for me and themselves. And we lived in the tiniest apartment. Um, Luckily, it was in Miami Beach, so it was kind of bougie. But yeah. So like coming from that and watching my parents struggle, specifically like I was not specifically, especially as I was growing up, it makes me not want to ever be in that position of I don't have enough money for this, I don't have enough money for that. And so if I'm not consistently working on whatever it is, what is a drag show, whether it's a stream or two here on Twitch, or whether it's working my full-time job, I'm not doing anything.
Good for you. I mean, because that's one of those things where, like, I think what hit me was moving out of my parents' house and becoming the poorest I've ever have been.
Yeah.
I mean, I was very fortunate growing up. Yeah, like people are like, you know, oh, what'd you eat today? I'm like, I didn't eat until I got to work because I worked at a restaurant and I could get something that was like half off. Yeah, and then that was the only thing I ate all day, and I'd come home and I'd stream, and I was just like,
absolutely,
oh my god, I'm so hungry. I had no energy. Like, it was rough. But it makes me appreciate having the job I have now and being able to do what I do now. And
hear that.
Yeah, but I'm also very fortunate. Like, I've been very blessed. If I ever, like, it's like one of those things where I think it kind of runs in my family. Like, my mom and my dad used to struggle a lot at certain points in their life where it's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this sandwich because, you know, I'm so broke. And then somebody who owed them money was like, here, I owe you this money, like, out of the woodwork 2 years later. And I've had that happen to me a couple times where I'm just like, oh my god, what am I going to do? And then someone's like, here, you let me borrow $300 2 years ago. I'm going to give it back. And I was just like, thank you, because I wasn't going to eat today. So
said, why are you giving out this money if you don't have to eat?
Well, back then I kind of did. I used to be very smart when it came to money. Good. And now I'm in a lot of
now you're a streamer.
Now I'm a streamer. And that's why, like, all of my money from this job that I have now is going into my, like, credit card debt.
Oh, so I'm not enjoying I don't even want to talk about mine.
Oh my god, it's rough.
Say the amount of credit card debt you're in 1, 2, 3.
20,000 now.
Oh my god, no. That's a rude girl.
That's where I was. But luckily I've paid down a lot.
I don't know. I think I'm still at like 3 or 4K.
Jealous.
That's a lot for me.
Oh, for sure.
I was never in debt. And all of a sudden, just life came my way, and I maxed out 2 of my credit cards that I never thought would reach like 500.
Yeah. I Same
Weird.
thing happened to me. I think it was when I think it was my Amex that like really fucked me over.
Oh my god, no, yeah, absolutely.
I maxed that one out, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm
How
never
do you
gonna.
max out an Amex?
It just had like a $10,000 or $12,000 limit. I don't know. Okay, look, my ex. I bought my ex a freaking car. Like
Oh, that's what you don't do.
that. Yeah, I'm realizing.
Were they
that.
your boyfriend or were they your fiance?
My boyfriend?
Awful. No.
Who was like, to make it worse,
No.
it was my boyfriend who cheated on me for like the entire time we were together, and this was like a year and a half into our
You should have
relationship.
just opened up the relationship and had a throuple at that point.
I told him, I said, do you want to open it up? He's like, no, I don't want anybody else. I was like, except for on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's like,
No.
oh
Absolutely.
my god.
What the
I told you I settled, okay?
You sure did, bestie. Sure did. See, I grew up in Miami where you don't take shit from anyone.
I see that. I need to learn from you, Marisol.
I don't know. I'm a very independent person. Like, I do not rely on anyone but myself. That's why when you were like my biggest fear is to die alone, I was like, I could die happy right now.
Well, that's.
I could die alone. I could literally go to sleep, not wake up, and I'll be fine.
I'm so bad. Like, I'm so bad at that. Like, to the point where, like, if you're my friend and you're like close enough, I'm like, hey, can we go do this? They're like, I can't afford to do that right now. I'm like, okay, I'll pay for us because like I don't want to go do this by myself.
You need to be more independent. Well, you don't need to do anything. Let's get that. Let's get that in there. You don't need to do anything, but like honestly, becoming your own person is very rewarding. Especially for instance, like I moved out when I was exactly when I turned 18. I moved out for college. I moved to like 300 miles away from home. Still do. I still had to borrow money every single month to make ends meet. And my apartment was only $500 a month.
Yeah.
And I still was not making that. And I didn't have any assets that required monthly bills either, apart from my phone to that point. So that, like, going through that and just in general, just being one of like the only openly gay kids growing up in all of my different schools, it taught you to not rely on anyone, like not even your family. Be as independent as you can, be as resourceful as you can, and kind of like, you know, take it from there. And like that's why I hate codependency, and I would hate to ever get to that point, because I don't view it as weakness. I just view it as not for me.
No, see, I get it. I'm getting it much more now because I do go out and do things by myself, and I do genuinely enjoy it. But there's times where it's like, I want to have this memory with somebody. Like I think, and I think that goes back to like,
Yeah, with yourself.
well, yeah, true. Well, you also get to meet new people, and for me, I'll go out and I'll enjoy like walking around downtown Fredericksburg, and it's like a nice little, you go into like different boutiques. It's like you can go and stop in a shop for like 10-20 minutes, and you get to meet like the shop owners, things like that. And it's a really cool experience.
So old school.
It is. Oh my gosh. But like I love it. Like shout out to Katora, because like if it wasn't for Katora coffee, I would be like, I have no friends. I go in there all the time, and I'm just like, hey, I don't want anything, I'm just stopping and talking. They're like, okay, cool. And so like I've met a lot of people through there, but I just, for me, it's like I just like experiencing things with people, and I don't know, it's just something that like I've gotten much better, because I do enjoy going out. Like I could probably go out to like GalaxyCon at the end of the month by myself if I wanted to, and like I'd go out and try and like meet people, which I feel like is a really good quality to have is like to go out and just like hey, I don't know anybody, and then you make friends that way. but like I want some people to come with me, so like I'll bring them with me. I don't know. That's just how I am, I guess.
Well, that's nice.
I mean, it is, yeah. I mean, I'm lucky because a lot of my friends down here, I would literally have 0 friends down here if it wasn't for. So my cousin lives down here. It's the reason why I moved down here. But probably like 3 to 4 of my best friends down here I've met through Twitch or TikTok, which is pretty cool. And it just happened to be like where I moved, and I knew them from around here. So now if I ever go do anything, it's like I have somebody from there. Although, Zach, you're always out of the country or out of town or something. So like,
wow, Zach.
How
could you?
Bear, you bear. I love that. I have my okay. So that's an inside joke, but like, so Zach always comes with me, and we go to this bar to hang out with my cousin. So like every time he walks in, everyone just calls him Bear because
is he a bear?
He's a bear. And all of my straight friends are obsessed with gay culture, so they're always asking questions. And one of the conversations we were having were like, so what's a bear or what's a twink? And so we're like, this is a bear. You're like, oh, okay.
My.
So they called him Bear ever since.
Lovely.
Yeah, so love that for me. Just
absolutely, yeah.
Trying to teach the straights about gay culture.
Oh no, teach them, educate them, make sure they're also voting to protect us.
Mm-hmm. I've met a lot of people who are a lot more open-minded than not only I thought, but like than they thought. They're sitting there like, oh shit, yeah, I totally see like why now.
Yes.
For me, I was very closed-minded growing up, and it was because of the fact that like my parents kept me from everything. I didn't know a lot about what was going on in the world from like a like I didn't think racism existed until I got to adulthood, and it was because like my parents weren't racist, and I just somehow I managed to miss it all the time. And then I started like meeting these people and seeing like their background and everything, and then I'm like sitting there, I'm like, well, who treats people like that? And it's just like that was my awakening, was becoming an adult. And I just didn't know it existed. I was like, no. And then I'm like, I guess people are capable of treating people like that, which is insane to me. But that was something that was my biggest struggle, I think, becoming an adult, was realizing that people are just not good. I mean, people are good, but like a lot of people aren't. And too many people aren't. And the realization hit as becoming an adult. I was just like, oh shit, this actually happens. I didn't know. So that was like a mind-boggling thing for me. I was struggling because I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised to be like that. Which, thanks, Mom.
I'm glad you weren't.
Yeah, me too. Because it's terrible, terrible. But don't you hate getting to the bottom of coffee and it gets super creamy? And now it's like,
well, usually I like it creamy. But in terms of coffee, I don't necessarily drink coffee. Caffeine, I don't know what it is about like specifically coffee caffeine, that my body does not react well to it.
For me, it's become like I hate having coffee breath. And that's one thing why I've been drinking so much. I know you're sponsored by not G Fuel, so I'll try not to let them. G Fuel. No, like all at the same time. Like all at the same time.
Channel, like, you can do whatever you want.
G Fuel has been a blessing in that sense. Is that like it's something that I actually, because like I drink coffee because now I just enjoy drinking coffee. Like it's not even about the energy boost, and I feel like the same thing has happened with
you like the taste of coffee.
G Fuel. Yeah, I know. What, I'm crazy. But I just don't have that bad like aftertaste now, because a lot of the times I'm just drinking
espresso.
Drink. Well, no, I'm drinking G Fuel. Yeah, and it has like a good like flavor to it, which I need to get some of their hydration products because
What? Oh, those are good when you go out on a night on the town.
mm-hmm.
Quick little hydration of whatever brand you so choose.
Right.
Maybe a liquid IV in the morning.
Oh yes, I could have used that a long time ago. Oh my
I
TwitchCon.
wish they existed. Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
I don't think I was ever sober throughout the 4 days we were really there.
Who got me really fucked up at that last party that we went to?
I don't know.
I think it was a mix between you.
We didn't. Well, not me.
No, you didn't. You didn't give me any drinks, did you? It was London Bradshaw.
No.
I am Brandon and
No, please.
Pup Link.
Yeah, no.
Pup gave me a lot of alcohol too. It was mostly London Bradshaw.
Was a pup there?
Yeah, from what's the safe word?
Oh, Amp.
Yeah.
Let me forgetting Amp. I'm so sorry if you see this. I remember I spent like almost the entire weekend with Amp.
I know. I did too, which was really surprising because like when I started hanging around iPuppy a lot, iPuppy was just getting into that world, and I was like going a little bit through that journey with him at the beginning, and I was sitting there. I'm like,
were you ever a pup owl?
I was not.
Shame on you.
I've been with pups, like so. Like I am starting to understand like pup culture, but a lot of it came from like a lot of my friends were. I realized how many of my friends were actually pups, and I started looking into it, and I came across Amp's page, and I actually became a fan of Amp before TwitchCon. So it was like weird becoming friends with him and spending as much time with him as I did. But
I said, well, you have a hydrate command redeemed.
I will drink I need to
get on that.
I'll drink some of this water because my coffee is like empty now.
Hi, Maxie.
hello. But yeah, I had a great time at Twitch, but I definitely was drunk most of the time.
Oh, like I said, I was not sober the 4 days we were there, apart from the Twitch Drag Showcase and the Drag Cyber panel. I was completely sober for those two. I woke up, and then as soon as those ended, I'm like, let's go to the bar. Let's go to the bar.
The first night was the worst for me. I think.
What was your first night? Friday or Thursday?
Friday.
Well, I went out on Thursday.
No, it was Thursday night. It was Thursday night. I went out, and I remember because I didn't remember.
Yep.
I remembered not remembering meeting London Bradshaw. I had the like.
That's insane.
Which I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, it's London Bradshaw. I want to go talk to London. And then I went up to London and had a full conversation, and apparently I don't remember that. I remember like seeing London there, but I don't remember much after that. And then the next day.
Were on booth.
Oh, I was. If it wasn't for Big Daddy Addie and Siren's Beauty, who were taking me out and getting me like a lot of like liquids the next day, I don't think I would have survived the next day.
I don't know. I'm a Floridian, so alcohol is in our bloods.
I think I used to be able to drink a lot, especially mixed drinks, but I cannot anymore. I've gotten too drunk on too many different alcohols that now I'm just stuck to beer and wine.
You gotta stick to one. See, I can no longer do tequila from my trips to Chicago. I can only do a whiskey now. I will only take a whiskey now, should I say. And if I'm feeling absolutely psycho, I'll do a Rumpleman.
Tequila was very short-lived for me. I started drinking a little bit of tequila when I was dating a Latino. After dating a Latino, I can't drink tequila.
Did they ruin that for you?
They ruined it for me. Look, that night was rough.
Oh?
There was a lot of tequila entering and exiting my body.
A lot of mistakes.
A lot of mistakes. So if you're watching this one, thanks.
Oh, wow.
Thanks.
And if you're out there and you're sober, props to you. Honestly, thank you, and congrats on your journeys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure. You know, I've started wanting to try towards the end, at least the last 10, 15, 20 minutes, see if chat had any questions or anything. Just because now, because I feel like it's fun because like you always get my perspective on a lot of things in life, but like to have both perspectives would be pretty cool. So we can open up a Q&A if you'd be down.
Yeah, definitely. If anyone has any questions, feel free to throw it that way. I feel like we've a lot. What I love about this is just like being able to speak with a friend and just ramble on.
Honestly, so yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like,
how could you? I was rambling
don't
on,
know.
Owl.
But that was the thing. It's like when I first started this or talking about starting it, people are like, "Oh, so you're gonna like interview people?" I'm like, I don't want it to be an interview. I want it to be like a conversation. I feel like interviews are too formal. Yeah.
Podcasts are literally conversations.
Conversations.
But this is a VODcast because we're live here on twitch.tv/split_owl.
Yes, and twitch.tv/MarisolLords. You don't have any. You're just MarisolLords, right? Yep. And
some of us can afford to have our entire name on there. No, I'm kidding.
That's true. I went on. I was like, okay, I want my name to be split out, and somebody with 6 followers had split out. I was like,
they sure did.
I was like, oh my god.
I said you can't have this.
Nope. I messaged him. I was like, can I please? Never got a response.
Well, you definitely can. If you reach partner, you can definitely put an inquiry for it and be like, hey, this account has been inactive for X amount of time.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yes.
That's awesome. Although I feel like the split_owl is like now synonymous with my name.
Yeah, at this point, I want everybody to know that apart from like, you know, building community and creating a space for people. I don't want to say safe space because I am not a safe space. Creating a space for people to be able to like, you know, vibe and coexist with like what I like. I want to be Marisol on Twitch. That's the only reason I want that check mark.
That's so
I'm like, community will come. Conversations and chilling will come. That check mark will solidify my username. That's all I wanted for.
You just want Marisol, no Lord?
The only reason I want that check mark is to change my username.
Oh, you can't change it now, or somebody have it?
I can't change it now. It's too generic of a name.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
See, I wanted everything also to be the same. So when I was picking split out, I had to like check Instagram, YouTube.
Yep.
Everywhere. So I lucked out that nobody had split_owl. Lots of split owls for some reason.
Absolutely. You could have been split owl 32754, but instead you put an underscore, so that makes you special.
Absolutely. See, well, that was my big thing too. Is I've had a lot of people who have been streaming for a while, and they are like friends of mine. They'd stream, but it was like on occasion kind of thing. And they would ask me, they're like, what can I do? And I'm like, well,
link your Amazon Prime and subscribe to me monthly.
Exactly. Make sure to go back because they don't have it to where you can just auto renew.
That's so dumb. Which I mean, it makes sense because like,
yeah,
but
it does make sense. It's just from a streaming perspective, it doesn't make sense.
I honestly don't remember who I had my Prime on, and so I've had my Prime for like 2 months now. I've not given it to anybody else.
That's so funny. I think I need to, I stopped for a while. I stopped watching streams. I'll put them on the background. And I try and support my friends, but a lot of times I didn't even go on the computer unless I was streaming, and I couldn't run my stream and other people's streams at the same time. Else it would just like, I'd be like, bah, 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 bah,
me just now using my Prime.
That's so funny. I need to use my Prime. I think I used it recently. Not sure. But,
Give me 1 second. I'm typing in me remembering I have Prime.
That's so funny. That was one thing I always forgot. It was about my Prime. I'd pay for my subscriptions. I'd pay to subscribe to people, but I never remembered my Prime. So, like shit. Oh well.
I'm so sorry. You will have to repeat that in just a second. Okay, okay, I'm back. Sorry.
That's so funny. I was
No,
saying that like
I don't have you in our guest star. I want everybody to know that you are not visible to me.
yes, true.
So I had to open up a separate tab where you are a second and a half delayed. And in that second tab, I do see my followed channels, and I did do something that I'm like, oh, I'm not actually subscribed to you. Let me go give you my Prime.
That's so funny. But yeah, I was saying like I've been paying to subscribe to people over like the last 2 years. I was paying like to subscribe to people, and like there were times where I'm like, why am I not using my Prime sub?
No, literally. I forget I have it.
Yeah.
I forget I have Amazon Prime altogether. I don't really I think it's because of COVID and I needed things quickly that you know, into and you know, the Twitch thing helped as well. But like as of like right now, like I just go to the store and buy things now. I'm very like instant gratification when it comes to purchasing. So like I don't have it within the next like 2 days, like I don't want it.
Yeah, for sure. I get that. I certain things I'm the same way. Other things I'm like, I need to get this on Amazon Prime just because of the fact that like I'm a procrastinator. So I'll procrastinate in any way I can. So that being, oh, I'm gonna get this. Oh shit! Now it's sold out at a store or something like that. So I'm like, I need to get it on Amazon Prime. Or I'm just lazy and I jump on Amazon Prime and I just buy stuff.
I feel that. I did also get it because I had an Amazon Prime Video, and that was the only place where I could find MTV's Teen Wolf. So I had to rewatch MTV's Teen Wolf from like the very beginning because I only got to like I think the 4th or 5th season, and I said I haven't finished the series, and it was my favorite series.
One of my gay awakenings, for sure.
Absolutely. The fact that they actually had gay characters was really nice.
I loved it that my little brother loved to watch it because then I could just go in and just like watch it and I'd see like shirtless men, and it was not
absolutely. That show was so gay.
My little brother over here completely like naive to the whole thing. He's just like, my brother's actually finally watching something with me, and I'm like, yes, I am.
Yes, you are. You're watching Danny.
Oh my god, and Colton Haynes.
Yes. Yeah.
Obsessed. And then I was watching Arrow. Arrow was like my show growing up. It got me through high school. And Colton Haynes was on there. And then I was like, oh my god, I have this huge crush on Colton Haynes. And then he came out and I was like, oh, my chances have not even gone up at all. But I'm going to pretend.
I was about to say, did you think your chances were like raised?
I know. That cracks me up. Every time I'm like on social media, people are like, oh my god, can you believe this person got into a relationship with them? I'm so mad at them right now. I'm like, do you think your chances went up or down or even moved in the slightest? Because let's be honest.
I don't know. I'm friends with a lot of people that I used to look up to on social media now.
That's true.
You're right. We're friends because you looked up to me.
Yeah, 100%. I was like, MarisolLords, you're so tall. What's it like up there?
You know what? It's really nice up here, actually. You should try it sometimes.
No, but actually, you know what's really funny is you were one of the people that was like, oh my god, like, I just love watching because I didn't know you at that point. Prior to, I just saw you on stage and I was like, wow, like,
yeah, no, I'm a celebrity.
You are.
I'm totally kidding. But no, I'm very like it was, especially with TwitchCon, it was so weird. Like a lot of people being starstruck with me, and a lot of particularly my friends, people who I consider friends, were like, yeah, no, I was gobsmacked with like the way that you performed, and like getting to meet you in person was like really things. Like we know that you like kind of come off as a bitch, but like you're really nice, and I'm like,
sometimes a bitch.
No, but I'm always a bitch.
Yeah,
I always come off
on me, especially.
When? Now. Just now.
Yeah, just now. No, don't.
The camera's right there, and your mic is right.
Everyone's like watching. They're like, not at all. My favorite was. I mean, we got pretty friendly at that after party, and
yes,
I was. We sure did, and I was like.
Like I said, if it's not instant gratification, I move on. And so I did.
Not
On day
gratified at
3.
all, though.
What was that?
He said, not gratified at all.
No. I said, I'm moving on.
Owls are boring.
You're fine. You were really nice.
I know. Nice guys finish last.
No, nice guys finish first.
Unfortunately.
I got you there.
God damn it. But no, it was really great actually, like becoming friends with you. I felt like you're probably like one of the closest people that I've actually like just met through Twitch. And like I mean I've definitely kept in touch with you from TwitchCon, like from going to TwitchCon and meeting somebody there, not knowing who they were prior to or afterwards. It was, I would say probably you're the closest person, you in London, but London I knew of prior to. Because
I had no idea who you were.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I'm not surprised.
That was a joke, Owl.
Did you know who I was before there?
No, I did not know.
Okay, I was gonna say no, you didn't. I mean, I feel like, well, that was one thing. So I'll another shout out to somebody recently, but it's like to point out like somebody that you like look up to, and then like they had no idea who I was, and I went to a bar and I just happened to run into Hey Girl, and
oh hey,
yeah, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh cool, and then Hey Girl, I was by myself. I had no plans at that point. I was there by myself and was like, I'm assuming people are gonna show up here, and then Hey looked over and was like, oh hey Split Owl, how are you doing? I was like, oh what? And then now it's like I had somebody come and chat the other day. I'm like, you need to play Phasmophobia with Hey Girl, and I'm like, Hey Girl doesn't really know who I am. And I went in. The first thing that Hey Girl said to me was, "Hey Split, you want to play with me?" And I was like, I mean, I know they knew who I was, but like I didn't.
Damn.
It was nice. That's one cool thing about Twitch. Is my point to all of this was like sometimes you look up to people and you're like, oh, I don't want to bother them, and then
that's the thing, like we're streamers, so we have much more of a personality and we show off that personality live. I feel like with social media in general, a lot of people can put up a facade of what they want people to see, but the thing is that we do this live. Like if I'm visually upset, it's because I'm upset. If I'm happy, it's most likely because I'm happy.
And
if I'm a bitch, it's probably because you're pissing me off. Like it's everything is live, everything is out there in the world. Like for instance, like my Instagram, you could never see a flaw. I said my Instagram stories tell a different story.
Yeah, a lot of people call me attractive on Instagram. It's surprising, and I was like, "Oh,
same." I'm shocked.
It's insane. It's all the lighting.
I'm kidding. No, you look good. You look good in and out of person.
So do you.
Oh, I know.
You're like, yes, bitch, I know. But
no, I'm a solid 8.
Yeah.
I'm a solid 8 in and out of drag.
No, I really like, that's another thing, is like absolutely gorgeous. Marisol was like such a light for me at TwitchCon. I don't know what
was I a light or was I a flirt? Because there's a big difference there.
It was both.
I'm not really sure who I was.
I don't really
remember what I was, to be honest with you.
My favorite was sharing like crazy moments with people and then them like not really caring who I am the next day. Not caring, but like not remembering. I was like, cared that night.
Cool. Well, that's with people in general.
That's true. That I feel like as a society, we're very much like, it just happened to my cousin. We went out and he was like talking to a girl. And it was like, I mean, I could tell. I was like, well, this isn't going to go anywhere after this. It was like one of those. And it happens so often. Like, that was one thing that always kind of like bothered me. Because like, if I share a moment with somebody or I share like, to me, I don't know if certain people think that like you can have too many friends. You got to like throw one out. But like for me, it's like if I go and I have fun with you, like I'm going to remember having fun with you. I'm not going to pretend like it never happened just because we're not in that moment anymore. It's just strange for me. But
that is strange.
It happens to me all the time. No one
Well, why do
likes
you think
Split.
that happen?
Just kidding.
Well, maybe you
'cause
should
I'm
be
bored.
likable.
Yeah, I know. I need to work on it. No one likes me. It sucks.
Try being likable, and then maybe people will stay. I don't know what to tell you.
Linux, please stay. Please say I'm likable.
Linux, don't you dare compliment.
Don't you dare. My head's too
We
big
need to
already.
knock you down a couple bit.
Yeah, you are too sure of yourself, Split.
No, you need to be more sure of yourself.
I'm working on it.
I'm glad you are though, because that is honestly a I call it a skill.
It
'Cause
is.
It's a people skill. Do you have anything
but not
anything else you want to speak about, talk about, ask questions? Do you want me to ask you a question?
Yeah, sure. If you have any hot.
Oh, I don't have any
burning
questions. I'm wondering if you have any questions that you want me to ask you.
Oh,
See how I got you there.
yeah. You got me.
You want me to
Ask
do
me
the
what my
work?
favorite color
On
is.
your-
Nobody ever asked me my favorite color.
Is it purple?
I do like purple actually. I really got.
I feel like it's red.
it is. That's so funny.
Is it red?
It is red.
Oh my god, I knew it. You give off red vibes.
I
Kind of
get
like it's like, but I would have said the same thing if you told me your zodiac. I'd be like, you give that vibe.
that. Yeah, right. I'm a Capricorn. You're like, oh, I could totally see it.
Yeah, no, I see that for you. Me
Such
not
a hard
knowing
worker.
I don't know the attributes of a Capricorn. I'm like, I see that for you, definitely.
Hmm. What is your zodiac?
Oh, I'm an Aries.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Any other questions you want me to ask you?
Say, I want you to ask me, hey Split, when's the next time when can I ever put you in drag?
Oh, that's God.
Never happening.
Not happening. I don't really put people in drag. I put
I
one
know.
person in drag one time.
I don't like it. I love it, but I hate it.
Wow.
No, I don't like people putting me in drag for one reason and one reason only.
Why?
Because they always do every aspect of the makeup first and then do the eyeliner. And I cry every time and it ruins the makeup.
Have you tried not crying?
Ever since I was a child.
You should. Wow.
It's not yet
It's
to work.
really easy. You just don't cry.
Oh, yes. We like air and I don't know.
No,
It's
there,
difficult.
no. You look over, and you push this down, or you get a Q-tip and you quickly swipe it up.
I need to practice these things.
Yeah, you like a lot of drag artists cry with their face going down because it just drips exactly down. It doesn't drip like on your face.
That's smart.
That's also like I think it's a theater thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't cried in a really long time because I haven't needed to. But in general, like when I do want to cry, I just let it all out. You just gotta bottle it up.
Oh, that's true. So
Just
healthy.
bottle it up and explode.
It's so healthy.
That's the Aries way.
It's there.
It's not healthy, but it's efficient. I never said it was healthy.
I cry a lot.
Oh God,
I
you have
know.
emotions, don't you?
Yeah, I know it's gross.
See, I'm overworked, so I don't allow myself to feel.
I've cried like probably once or twice because of work in the last couple months.
Oh yeah, well, damn. Here.
It's always before bed. You're like,
I reach for a hug.
oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, your camera's like a second delayed, so now I can see what you're
It's awkward.
your little face when you're like, okay, I guess I'm gonna hug myself now. I love it. I'm just getting all the sarcasm out of the way. I was
I know.
very polite.
Yeah, we had to save it to the end. Save it to the end. Bottle up and then explode.
Now we're cutting it up. Now the real interview.
This is for the real interview. This is all.
It's not even an interview. It's a
I know.
podcast. But no, is there anything else that you wanna talk about, chit chat about?
No, that I can think of. I feel like we talk a lot more than like outside of stream. I mean, we haven't been lately because we've been busy, but
I said
we need
that
to.
is false. I said because I don't talk to anyone.
We did at one point we were talking a lot more in gaming. I'm just gonna send you random games. I feel like that's
Ignore.
our conversation, and you can ignore them, and then like it'll take us like 3 months to get through Battleship. That's fine.
Not 3 months. That game takes actually that's the longest game in that little category.
Mm-hmm.
That game is so hard. But like
It
every other
was.
game is like shoot or like do this, and I'm like, that's easy.
Yeah, it was a quick like go home, finished in like.
I said, Linux, do you have a question for us?
Yeah, Linux. Do you have any questions or Anto or anybody watching?
Anteros JK.
I think
through.
after this, I was originally gonna end it, but I forgot that Fortnite had the new season dropped.
Oh, that's Slay. That's fierce.
So I might end up playing that for a little bit.
That's very fun. That's very fierce. I've heard nothing but good things from
good.
it.
I haven't heard anything. I'm a terrible Fortnite streamer.
No. Not at all. I wouldn't say that. It's really fun. You get your victory royales.
On occasion, yeah.
Yeah, like most people. You're not. None of us are ninja.
That's
and
true.
even the ninja doesn't get it all the time.
That's true. I do drink drinks with Ninja on it though.
Oh.
It's actually my
Love-
favorite flavor. I need more cotton candy.
Oh, it's the cotton candy. That's
Mhm.
fierce.
Ninja's cotton candy flavor. I love it.
Ooh. Y'all send Split Owl a treat.
Send me a treat.
Send you a treat. Click on that link. https://tweetstream.com/t/treat/split_owl. Whew.
Oh, if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh, wow. Well, there's a question before that, so we'll read that one first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How do you manage streaming times, etc.? I feel like overwhelmed trying to stream after work. It's nothing fun. It's very overwhelming. I'm gonna be very honest. At least from my perspective, it's very overwhelming. Like most of my day consists of waking up at 9:30, getting to work by 10, clocking out at 7, getting home and having like an hour to be able to like take for myself, which usually means eating dinner or trying to eat dinner. And then getting on stream. So I would say probably find something that you don't mind cutting out. Like for me, it's dinner. Like if I sometimes cut dinner, I know that I'm gonna make up for it like later on at night, which is not the healthiest thing. Actually, don't take my advice on this. But how do you manage your time? Because I'm terrible.
As somebody who's probably about to go get some chicken nuggies from McDonald's right after this,
Ooh,
because
meal
I
prep.
skipped. Yeah, I skipped.
Actually, yeah. How do you manage meal prep? Take a day, meal prep all your meals, and invest in a good energy drink of your choosing.
Yes, but you only have 2 options.
You have a couple out there, unless you're partnered with it and your contract says otherwise.
Yeah, right. Although, to be honest with you, I actually do like the product, which I never drank energy drinks before that.
No,
so,
same.
Like, it's nice to at least have that. But
you're back on your low carb diet. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's called not eating.
I would say the key to time management is planning. The most important step is planning, which essentially is what time management is. Plan out your day. Plan what you want to do beforehand. And honestly, if you wing it, that's cool too, as long as you're motivated to continue.
100%. I agree with that. For me, a lot of it, like you said, kind of just planning out, but also figuring out figuring out how long something's going to take to plan it from that perspective. Because like one thing I noticed is like a lot of times we plan things and they just never go to time, but I always over plan in the sense of like, okay, I'm gonna spend this much time doing this. And a lot of times I just slow down. Like, I get yelled at work all the time. Not really yelled at, but like I get told like, you need to walk faster. I'm like, no, this is my planning stage. Like, if I'm walking to go,
you need to walk faster.
Seriously, they're like, you're walking so slow. I'm walking literally a normal person's, but I don't look like a ridiculous fool running and it's full on sprinting to like grab a car and bring it to a customer. It's because I'm trying to plan on how I'm going to do the next step and the next 2 steps. So that'd be next. Actually,
wow.
Kuzi's only ever said something once. It's because I was walking slow at that time. But
well, maybe you should try walking faster.
I should. No, but slow down, think about things, and honestly take time. It's hard because when you have so much going on, I think we forget that to take like a 5-minute break. Take a 10-minute break to decompress, because it's just going to make what you're doing more miserable, and it's going to make it take longer. And if you get that little break, it gives you the energy to go back and actually make things go faster. So I'd say take breaks too, which sounds kind of counterproductive, but in reality it does help, and at least in my experience. But there's that. And then
so that you have it, work through it and take a break.
Yeah, what superpower would you have?
You start with this one.
Okay, I will start with it as soon as I think about it. Telekinesis.
You want to move things with your mind?
I want to move things with my mind. Oh my god, there's so many applications for that. Anyways,
wait, what?
I was just like trying to think, like you could do so much with telekinesis though.
For me, I would probably say, if there was like a power to teleport, I would love being able to teleport. Like essentially being like 2 places at the same time, because you can just teleport back and forth. Now, if there was a limit on it, I would still choose teleportation. But if it was unlimited, baby, you would never see me own a home. Never see me own a home.
Right? I would
sleep in the rainforest.
Sleep in the rainforest. I think also it'd be pretty cool to have, like, you kind of mentioned like 2 places at one time, but like to genuinely be able to be at 2 places at one time and like create a copy that could like go to work for you.
No, at that point you wouldn't need to work, because you wouldn't have bills to pay, because you wouldn't be paying rent.
Well, yeah, but there's other things that
you would sleep in the rainforest.
Well, what I'm saying is, instead of the teleport,
and you wouldn't need a car because you can just teleport, so you don't need a car note and or gas money.
Well, I would want to be able to make a copy that goes to work for me, so I can go do other things while they're working for me.
See, this is what corporate America gets you. Even when when you don't have to work, you're thinking about working.
That's true.
Is that what you want for our future generations, Owl? You want them to keep working themselves? Because that's what the boomers did to us with inflations and crashing the housing market. Okay, I need to use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
All right. How's everyone doing today? We could probably end like the actual like podcast part of this now,